Hi friends, Cindy Houston here, and I'm coming to you for your next video for trauma triggers to empowerment to your yeses. If you've missed the first 3 videos, just scroll down and you can check them out. I've been coming on here live to just share my own experience and my own journey of moving through any sort of traumas I've experienced in my life that have turned into triggers, and then how can I catch that trigger and have it be really empowering for me and help guide me toward my true yeses. And I'm just sharing my experience of my own personal life, and then the last 23 years of teaching people about their bodies, starting as a dancer and then moving into becoming a body worker and an energy work practitioner, and then also my own journey through nutrition and food. And so through that in my own personal life, this course that's coming up at the end of August 31st from 2 to 4 p.m. It's going to be a live course, but if you can't be there live, there will be a playback option, so don't worry about that. And it's really my own experience of my journey through my own experience of body, and then also and what I've done to move through any sort of things that have come up around my body, how I feel about my body, and what comes up when I think about my body, and what's most important to focus on to move me to feel empowered and stay focused on my yeses when it comes to my body. Also my voice, same thing. Any triggers I might have had about speaking not enough, or how I spoke, and then that might have turned into a trigger, and then catching it, empowered by it, and then how it can keep me focused on my yeses. And the other one was energy, feeling how you're feeling, being extra sensitive, feeling the whole energy around you, maybe even feeling other people's energies. How do you do that, and how can you also protect your energy? And so today's video is about food. And food is such an interesting topic because most of us, I know there's some people that live on sun and water and that's it, but most of us consume food, right, in some way or another. And it's also very cultural. Many cultures, it's very much a part of their, gathering, their connection, even their way of showing love. And we've all been raised different ways, on what our beliefs are around food. And also just different economic statuses as well, like what food was available to certain individuals. And so I'm getting on just to share my own journey with food. And it links pretty much everything that I've already talked about with the body, the energy, and even the voice. And I just encourage you in this video to ask yourself, what is food to you, right? I've got some fun little props, right? So is food energy? Does it give you energy? Or does it give you comfort? This is a birthday gift from someone. I don't normally eat Skittles. Or is food your medicine, right? So there's so many different ways to approach food and how we think of food. And I'm sure all of us have some way at some time approached food as energy, approached food as comfort, and then also approached food as medicine. Or maybe you haven't done that last piece and you're curious, how can my food really be medicine to me? And I know for me, I went through a journey. I was raised in Iowa, and it's very much, a farm state, and I was raised eating meat and potatoes, and we ate some fast food. We had some boxed dinners, processed food, and it was what can you raise your family on and give them a good life, and make sure they're fed. And we weren't struggling or any means, but just conscious about budgeting as a family, and those of you that have families and kids that you're feeding. And but we also had things, like grapes and peanut butter and crackers and salads and things like that. But I noticed as I grew up, when I started to be more, and it was really more about like energy and feelings and processing, I definitely learned growing up as a kid how sometimes I would use food as comfort, and or if I was stressed, I would and maybe there was something I didn't know how to say or fully express, and so I would self-soothe the comfort. And I actually went through a period of time where a good 10 years where I experienced an eating disorder, and it wasn't diagnosed, but I would excessively exercise and I would eat very minimally, and that was not great, and it came through a very traumatic experience, which I hadn't planned, but I guess I'll share in this video, where when I was in middle school, I received a prank phone call in the middle of the night, and I answered it, and they proceeded to say how fat I was and that I should lay off the Cheetos and go for the fat-free yogurt, and they just kept like throwing things out, and super sensitive. I was very shy, at least in school. Dance was my outlet to really kind of let myself out. And that really, at that teenage years, that really stuck with me and really kind of spun me in a spiral and some habits and beliefs that maybe weren't necessarily true. I did lose 35 pounds from that experience, but I definitely did not do it in a very loving way to myself nor to my body. It was more to just how skinny can I get, and I share that story because it was very much about learning about food, and then as a dancer, just keeping your body together. I really kind of did my own research on figuring out, learning about supplements and different types of food. And then when I shift to studying being vegetarian and vegan, I did it all wrong at the beginning. And I know a lot of us have, where you're just eating raw carrots or raw celery, and but you're probably still eating dairy, and you're, what is it like? There's the joke that like vegan beer and French fries, or beer, French fries, and Oreos are vegan or something like that. I wasn't really doing that, but you know what I mean? Like, so you didn't really know like okay, if I'm taking these things out of my diet, what am I putting in to make sure I have what I need? And that was a really long journey, and I feel like I'm still learning those practices on what to do. And I primarily have a vegan diet. And it's very simple, and for the most part, I have shifted. Yes, I still allow myself to have, like a cupcake, or I still allow myself to, indulge and, go out to eat sometimes. But for the most part, I really approach food as my medicine. And how can it give me the most optimal energy? How can it support my digestion? And how can I really use it as fuel to be good to my body, and really have my body feel like it has what it needs, so it can serve me in the best way possible. So, and I will also say, we'll dive in a little bit about this too. I experienced some pretty intense irritable bowel syndrome, and I found tools and techniques for myself to really help get things moving. I was more stuck, and to just help me get things moving, heal my digestive system that got kind of messed up from the eating disorder and things like that. So with that, just sharing a little bit of what we're going to dive into in that course for the trauma triggers. And this is just the first phase of it, but just a trial run to see how people like it, and if you're wanting to find out more information. And so I'll add the link to this video below. But I encourage you just to get a piece of paper, write down, what does food mean to you? And do you lean towards approaching food to energy, to get energy, to be fueled? Do you approach it to just comfort and soothe, or do you approach it as medicine, or all three? Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Share if you find this video would be helpful to anybody. Again, I'll add the link below. You can pre-register for the workshop coming up. And that's it for now, and talk to you soon.